Java, Java, Java. Hi. Hello, welcome in. Let me know if the music is too loud. Probably. I'm probably gonna turn it down right now, actually. Hi, rotting clown town. Hello. Thank you. I appreciate it. Ever since I got my hair cut, like this new style, I feel like more excited to actually do my hair every day. So maybe not every day, but I'm actually like putting effort. Whereas I was not doing it before. I was just giving up. You said there's music. Can you really like not even hear it? I'm playing it from the computer like I did last time, so maybe because there's, like, music playing through the computer, it's, like, not picking it up, like auto cancellation. But I'm back with my knit whip. Couldn't hear it, huh? You know what? Maybe we'll just do it off the phone because I need a little some. I need some music. Where was I gonna go? Hi, Sam, Lainey, Emma. Working on a baby blanket, that's a big project. Let's see if Twitch safe music is gonna be safe for YouTube. Hi, Jojo. My Jojo's in the chat. Just dropped $70 at my local yarn store. Good luck. That's not that bad, to be fair. I've had times where I went into yarn store, spent like 150, and I was like, "What am I doing?" Well, I got a little bit of work done, so we're gonna make the excuse to knit for a little while. Extra dynamic. Yeah, Lainey, I got your name right on the first try. I wasn't sure, but I was like, I don't think this person's name is Lane. It's like, let me try Lainey. I noticed a Wheaton College shirt in the previous video. Do you have any ties to the area? You grew up in Naperville, is what it's called? Naperville? No, Jordan and I were thrifting like a year ago, and we came across, I guess it says Wheaton, does it? But I've never been there. I've never gone there. I just saw it at the, I think it was like a Goodwill, and then I just cropped it. But I liked the shirt, so we've held on to her. It's so hard for me to not spend $200 at the yarn store every time. It's real easy. It's real easy to get sucked in. Hi, Madison. So pumped that you finally caught a live stream. This is the most consistent we've been on live streams in like over 6 months. So I'm trying to stick to it. And this week hasn't been as crazy as the previous one. So I've had a lot more time to actually just craft and like get whips done. A little bit of filming, but a lot of just like crafting in peace. It's a Chicago suburb. Oh, You know what's funny? It was probably like 3 or 4 months ago, I was coming out of USPS after dropping off packages, and some older gentleman stopped me and he was like, "Oh, Wheaton College? Like, did you go there?" And I was like, "No, I just thrifted this shirt. I'm sorry." I actually went to Santa Barbara for college, but I don't even have any Santa Barbara shirts. Who goes there? Psycho Lux. You have 10 rows left of a Tunisian crochet blanket. Okay, not too shabby. You're at the final stretch, but you just want to knit something. Let me tell y'all, this, I mean, this is fun. I've really only been doing stockinette since I cast it on. I should not have picked a pattern though with fingering weight yarn, with sock yarn and 3/5 knitting needles. Like, I know the outcome of it is going to be worth it, but the fact that I haven't, this is like the first time I've knit in like a year, a little bit over a year. I should have picked something with like worsted weight or DK. That way I can kind of like get to the finish line a little faster. Because with knitting, it already takes longer than crochet. Sock yarn was not the way to go for a top, like a blouse, and it has like mid-length sleeves. But we have progress from the last time that you guys saw me working on this. Look how much longer she is now. Again, it's just stockinette, but the excitement to see the length grow, and now you guys can actually see the colorway a little bit better. Look at that. Look at that. It's kind of like a gray, white. It's kind of like working up similar to like a marled shirt, marled colorway. And then you got like these little funfetti pops of color. Ooh. So she's getting there. She's getting there. Jordan has, like, every night before bed, sees me work on this. It's a time consumer. It's rough. You just thrifted 2 knitting books yesterday. Recommendation for what needle set to get to learn on. So, to be honest, I'm like, I mean, as you guys have probably seen, I'm not the most bougie person. Like, my favorite so far, my like go-to crochet hooks are the aluminum ones that you can get on Amazon, and kind of like the Susan Bate ones, but what's it? Tulip? No, not tulip. It's literally like the aluminum hooks that have been around for decades, if not like almost a century. And the aluminum is my favorite just because it's smooth and I'm just used to it. So I would personally recommend, if you're just trying to start off and you don't want to spend a lot of money on knitting needles, go onto Amazon, and there's a whole bunch, honestly, but there's a few, I think, aluminum or steel knitting sets, knitting needle sets on Amazon. And they're like 20 bucks. It comes with everything else that you need. It kind of comes with like a little pouch, the stoppers, some stitch markers, comes with cables too. But I would just kind of Google, what would you Google? Like, just interchangeable knitting needle set. I saw somebody else recommended Knitter's Pride. I do like Knitter's Pride, but keep in mind, for a beginner, they are pretty expensive. I do have one set from Knitter's Pride, and they're like a cubic knitting needle set, interchangeable as well. And I think that they work up really great. I actually really like the cubic style of knitting needle because apparently, from what I've researched, the cubic shape of the needle compared to a circular needle is supposed to help with like uniformity with like stitch tension and definition. Um, but again, yes, Boyd. I think it's Boy. You guys are right. The boy crochet hooks are my favorite. But yeah, for a beginner on a budget, 20 bucks for a pair like these. These were from Amazon as well, and I've had this set for since I started. So yeah, I'd say check that out. But when you're ready to invest more money, as you know, there's a ton of different brands out there. A ton. And I don't think any of them are necessarily worse or better than any other. I think they're all like 5 stars. So
I'm just getting started and I need to save.
we got a YouTube ad. Let me skip this. The grip on bamboo knitting needles is nice if you're new to knitting. Honestly, I do like bamboo knitting needles, but I feel like for a beginner, it might be like you might notice the difference because like you haven't got your tension down yet. Um, and depending on the fiber that you're using, bamboo may have a little bit more grip on the yarn as opposed to like the steel ones or the aluminum ones. So I like the aluminum just for the sense that regardless of whatever fiber you're using, it's like slippery and you don't get caught up on the needles. It can kind of just glide off. Whereas the few times I've tried out, what bamboo set was it? I think they were like straight. They were just straight knitting needles, but the bamboo had a little bit more grip for a newbie. And it kind of made learning a little frustrating. But I'm always say the aluminum is such a good way to go. That's my hot take. Have you ever tried Clover Amore crochet hooks? I don't know if Clover has different lines of crochet hooks. See how much I know. But I have tried Clover hooks in the past. Does the Amore line have the, what's that thing on it that's supposed to help with like pain and like grip and stuff? I don't like crochet hooks that have the grip on it. I think just because I used standard crochet hooks for so long that having that little grippy on it, it actually slows me down and I feel like I can't get a good grip on the crochet hook. To Sarlin. See, that's funny. We're opposite because you're saying as a new knitter, aluminum needles are too slippery. But for me, I'm like the other way around. Hello. I need like a little pillow. There we go. We got to get some speed behind these needles. I will say, this is probably, although it's super repetitive, this is going to be the easiest part of the top for me because once we split front and back and I'm working on like separate panels, I'm going to have to purl every other row. And I'm not very fast at purling. And that's going to slow me down a lot. So, although this is super repetitive, I'm trying to enjoy it for what it is because before I know it, purl rows are coming up. Stephanie, it's your birthday and you've been stressed at work all day. I wish I was crocheting at the beach or something. Happy birthday. That sucks that you're at work on your special day, but hopefully once you're off and you're home, you can just spend it. Just spend it with your fiber, and your art. Ironically, we just celebrated Jordan's birthday last weekend, or this previous last weekend, and we went to the beach. And I got to knit this on the beach, which is not something I get to do very often. Like, although I live in California, we're like with no traffic, like hour and a half drive to the beach. And then coming back, it's almost 2 hours. So we don't go super often. And now fall's coming soon too. So it's going to get chilly, super chilly. Carter finally made it to a live. Okay, Carly. So for me, first was crochet. I've been crocheting for, it'll be 20 years, on and off for 20 years in like this next year. So I didn't, crochet every single year of those 20 years, but I'd always come back to it. And then I only learned how to like I learned the basics of knitting when I was in high school. I only made like two really quick projects. I think it was like a scarf, maybe like two scarves. And I didn't know there was such thing as like knitting in the round at the time. I was pretty young. So I was like, oh, if I have to purl all the time, like I'd screw knitting. I'm not a fan, whatever. And then I re-picked it up about 3 years ago now. But again, I haven't been knitting consistently because, as I said, first knitting project in a year. But this next year, even like starting now, I've already made like a mental plan to incorporate a lot more knitting versus just crocheting everything all the time. For me, as I've mentioned before with this, I don't have like, I'm not in a rush to finish it. This is kind of like my therapy knit project because, I'm not like writing a pattern for it. I'm not testing a pattern. I'm just, when I feel like it, when I want to relax and get my mind off things, I'm just going to knit. And I think it's really healthy instead of me just like knitting things, crocheting things 24/7. Because that's where the burnout can come in. So having a kind of like a backup project, therapy project that you can just fall back onto with no expectation, no timeline. It's kind of just like a little hourly break from the crochet is super nice. Do I knit Continental or English? So I can do both. Okay, I take it back. For purling, I don't know which is which. So right now, I've gotten into a pretty good rhythm with this style. I never know if this one is the Continental, if this is English. But every now and then, like when my finger gets tired of holding up the yarn, I'll switch up the other way. And as you guys probably saw in that other live stream, I noticed that when I switch up like this, my tension with the yarn is completely different. And this way, my tension is way tighter. And I've tried really hard to like loosen up with it and give it a little bit more wiggle room, a little bit more stretch. But I like the feel of this way better. But my tension is more consistent the other way. So if you can tell me what way is what way. See, I just like the feel of this. I like throwing. I like throwing the yarn. It feels like butter. Okay. But I can already feel tension is changing, so we're going to go back. We're going to switch back. Clyde got surgery yesterday on your foot, and now you're stuck in bed. What happened to your foot? Oh no. Oh no. Jordan, if you're still here, See what happens when people break bones in their feet. Sometimes they need surgery. Jordan had a pretty nasty foot injury like a month and a half ago, maybe almost 2 months ago now. But first few days, he like couldn't even walk on it. He was like trying to play it off and like hobble around. It was pretty grotesque. But now I think he's pretty much back to normal. Pretty much. I even like the garter stitch side. Like, look at that. That looks scrumptious. But y'all know I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for the knit side, for the stockinette. Do I have a set live schedule? So I don't at the moment, just because I just started being more consistent with the live streams. I think eventually I do. I think the only downside is like if for whatever reason I can't make it or I'm too busy, I've got work that I got to get done, I'd feel really bad like canceling it and then like letting you guys down if you guys were planning on it. But schedule might be nice just in the sense of like you guys know when to expect me to come on, obviously. I'm kind of just, as y'all know, I've been at that point where like I just hop on the live when I have a moment. And it makes it a little bit like less stressful. Because I feel like if I start scheduling it, it's going to start feeling like obligation or work instead of just like, oh, you know what? I have a free hour today. Let's chat. And before anybody asks, I cannot knit without looking. I cannot. It's not going to happen. You guys got snow in New York for Halloween? We got 80 degrees in sunshine for Halloween. Yeah, 20 years. 20 years. Which is funny because a lot of you guys probably looking at me thinking I am 20, but the Asian genes will fool you. Noki, first live, welcome. Welcome to the little hangout. I kind of change up where we have our little live streams. Sometimes I'm in the front room, but somebody just came home, so I prefer to have peace and silence in the bedroom. Or else you guys are going to hear the water running, garbage disposal. It's too much for me. Art, crocheting at the moment. Then I saw you were live. So let's crochet together. Let's just crochet knit together. Grab your projects, y'all. If y'all are just sitting down watching me, maybe you guys are like doing homework or something on the side, but let's craft together. What is my favorite yarn type? Chunky, thin, wool, acrylic, etc. It's hard for me to say like I have a all-time favorite just because each fiber has its own highlight and there's like a time and a place for everything. So, you know, depending on the season, I might like one fiber more than the other. If I had, let's make it like a deserted island type of question. If I was going to a deserted island, I got stranded and I could only bring one type of yarn with me, I'd say a DK weight, and it's got to be a blended fiber. Probably off the top of my head, like 50-50 cotton wool, or maybe like 75-25 wool cotton, or even like a wool bamboo. I like acrylic just because that's what I've used for a majority of my crafting journey. But just now, as I've kind of been, I'm pretty well versed in fiber arts now, and I really personally do see the value in using higher quality fibers for what I'm making, because I'll be honest, the times that I have used acrylic for projects, they don't last very long, or as long as I would like it to. Yeah. And a lot of times I have tried to like machine wash acrylic. It does not like it. So I would prefer a wool over an acrylic, like a merino wool or superwash. Them's my go-tos. Favorite brand of yarn? Mine. I'd say mine. Store brand? Couldn't tell you. Lainey ordered Knitter's Pride because the set is gorgeous. Knitter's Pride always has a ton of different like lines. And yeah, they are all super gorgeous. I mentioned it in the last few live streams, but I've been using an interchangeable crochet hook set. Um, and I love it. And although I haven't tried the knitting needle version, and a needle set versus a hook set, I would have to assume that the brand that I'm using makes really high quality knitting needles as well. So in the future, if you're interested, also like trying out a different one, I've been using the Luka. It's like Lykke, but the interchangeable crochet hook set, scrumptious. It's actually so, so nice. And I think those are like birch wood that I'm using. Let's get a few stitches in here. Here we go, some progress. Okay, so throwing is English, and then this is Continental. Asher, hi. Have you ever made anything from Mowgli? I want to make matching sweaters for my partner, cat, dog, and myself to do a corny holiday card. I almost said a corny holiday card. I've only made Mowgli a few things, but funny little story. The day before I went to pick up Mowgli, before like I got him for the very first time, I wanted to make like a little holiday card with him. So I hadn't even like met him yet, but I just knew he was small. He was going to be a puppy. So I crocheted him a sleeveless turtleneck sweater. And like a day after I had him, I put it on him. It fit him pretty perfectly. I don't know how I did that. It was like a little bit big. And then we took a little holiday card photo. I should show it to you guys. It's super cute because he was just a small little bean, and he obviously does not fit it now. Clyde, bunions hurt. I have a family member that has and like gets bunions on their feet, and they say it's like they have a hard time shopping for shoes. They're always returning shoes because like they're not comfortable. So I feel for you. and then not being able to walk after surgery. Heal first, but I mean, if you're laying down or you're sitting while you're recovering, I mean, grab that project. Grab that project. Addison curled up in my new apartment. Congrats, new apartment. How fun. With my cat in my lap, knitting a sweater. Okay, wait. Before we continue on with the live stream, whoever is like making things for their pets or like crocheting, knitting with their pets, take photos, at least like one, because at the moment, you guys see Amara here a lot in the live stream. She's one of my like mods, but we've already like put together the basis of a Discord, and at this point, we're kind of just trying to like add certain pages, and because there's like a lot that goes into Discord, I didn't really realize it. So it's not like 100% ready yet, but it's really close, I'd say. Like we just need to kind of, add the correct pages, or what do they call, like the roles, something like that. I don't know Discord terms, but I was thinking I wanted to make like a little tab, like a pets tab. So whether that's like you made a sweater for your cat or your dog, or like a hat, or even if you're just like laying on your bed knitting and you have your cat with you, I want like that whole tab to just be like pets with our stuff, because I love seeing pets like hanging out or like laying on crochet projects. I don't know if she'll come in here today, but Sarah has been around for a while as well. And she DMs me every now and then on Instagram. And like a week or two ago, she sent me photos of her dog laying on her, like her knit and her crochet projects. And her dog is beautiful and so cute. So when I first saw that, I was like, wait, we need to like share our pets with each other, and obviously our whips and yarn hauls and whatever else. So just know, if you guys would like to be a part of the Discord, I am going to make a little page, a little tab about pets. So take photos. Take photos right now so you can list them when the Discord is like up and running. I think honestly by this weekend, Saturday or Sunday, it'll be ready. And when it is, I'll mention it like on the next live stream. I'll mention it on Instagram, YouTube videos, whatever. But the Discord's going to be really fun too, because that way, instead of like just DMing me or like emailing me photos of your whips and your finished projects and stuff, we can have a whole like page, a whole Discord where you guys can consistently upload photos of your whips or your finished projects, and we can share them with each other. We can share patterns that we're working on or ideas. We can talk about yarn on there. You can show what certain yarn that you bought looks like when you work with it. It's gonna be fun. Okay, this tension is killing me. Both of my sister's corgis have hated clothes. It might be a thing for them because they're so hairy. So interesting thing about Mowgli is, for the most part, when he was a puppy, he didn't care like about the sweater. But once he grew up and became mature, the few times that we have put clothes on him, and it was purely, I think, just because it was cold and we wanted to like put a shirt on him, so he had like a little bit. He wasn't a fan of it. He didn't like it. But Mowgli, probably like most corgis, he's like a big scaredy cat. And if he hears fireworks or the doorbell ring or a motorcycle in the street, he gets super anxious and he'll bark his head off. He'll lose his shit, especially if a firework goes off. He'll start shaking and he'll go hide. So recently we got him a thunder jacket. We call it his dunder jacket, but it's like one of those therapeutic like Velcro jackets that you put onto your dog or your pet that like swaddles them. and it's supposed to like calm them down. So the first time we put it on him, we're like, we don't think he's gonna like this. He doesn't like clothing. But like the little pamphlet that it came in, it said either your pet is not gonna like it, they're gonna try to take it off. They said, or 50% of pets will like fall asleep like right where they're at, like in a minute or something like that. And we were like, yeah, no way. That's not gonna be Mowgli. We're like, let's see. And then we put it on him. I think it was on a night that there was like a couple fireworks in our neighborhood. We put the thunder jacket on him. And I shit you guys not, within I'd say like well under a minute, right where he was at, like the minute we put it on him, he just like laid down and he was just like looking at us like, what's going on? And then like within a minute, he's on the floor like this and he's like this. And then he rolled over and he was asleep. So that's the only clothing item that my corgi will wear. And he loves it. Like when we put it on him, I think he feels he feels very safe and he feels warm and secure. But he also feels like you can see how different he reacts with it on. Like he feels like fearless. He's like, yeah, now that I have my Dunder jacket on, I can take on anything. It's kind of funny. Yes, I'm definitely trying not to push myself with deadlines. I mean, for certain, whether it's like a sponsor or like a certain video idea that I have, because like I need to post videos, I have a deadline with those. But certain projects, like I said with this one, no deadline. If I finish it in December, cool. If I finish it in January, equally as cool. Can you crochet without looking? I can crochet without looking. I wouldn't say for long periods of time, um, but I definitely cannot with knitting. It's not going to happen. I will completely mess it up. And I'm not trying to frog a knitting project. Stephanie, you got the Tom Daly Made with Love yarn from Michaels. It feels nice. Okay, so I don't know when the video is going to be up, but I have like another come yarn shopping with me and like yarn recommendations video because about a month ago now I saw the Tom Daly yarn at Michaels. And honestly, for like first opinion, first little take on it, it's not bad. I think is it 100% cotton or 50-50 cotton, right? But I liked the feel of it. And I'm pretty sure it's like a tubular, right? Or a chainette. I can't quite remember. But my first take on it was, I don't hate this. It's not bad. And he had a handful of colors too. I think at my Michaels there was like 10 or 12 different colorways. It's like, dang, they made a line. They made a line of yarn. Y'all are having a conversation in German right now? I can't read all this. I need my glasses. This is too hard. Advice for a brand new Etsy shop. Like I made it live this morning. Right off the bat, I don't have an Etsy, so I can't quite attest to like the specifics of how Etsy works. Like I get the gist of it, but every e-commerce platform, there's like certain ways around it and certain things you need to keep in mind. So I personally don't know about Etsy. The little bit that I do know about Etsy is that I think it's a good place in general to sell stuff. For example, like custom stuff or even like patterns, just because their library of just other sellers, other patterns, anything is so vast. And a lot of people do rely on Etsy like myself. I go on there to look for patterns or whatever, but I know the biggest downside with Etsy is that they tax like a mother. So I'm sorry I can't help with the Etsy. I'm currently using I've been using Squarespace to sell my yarn and my hooks and stuff like that. Um, but hopefully before the end of the year here, I do want to change over to Shopify. So I'm gonna have to like put my site on hold pretty soon here. That way I can transition everything over and make sure everything's like set up and running smoothly. But I've heard good things about Shopify. Ooh, my knitting is super tight right here. What advice would you give to someone who wants to start a crochet business? Also, you're amazing. Thank you. um, Honestly, there's a lot to think about, but if you're just looking for kind of like a general overview, obviously just do it. If it's something that you're thinking about, I'd say don't think about it for too long. Like don't that's something I did was I sat there and was like, should I not? Took me forever to get things up. I'd say do it sooner rather than later. Secondly, depending like what you're making, kind of find like a niche. Like you can make, a bunch of different things, but people are probably going to remember your shop or your site based off of like a trend of things that you're making. Because if you're kind of all over the place, then I don't know, it might not be as easy to remember you or like remember where they saw it from. But for example, if you're doing like amigurumi, make that like most of your stuff. So kind of like find a niche. Third pointer that I could give you, kind of check around for how other people are selling their stuff. But honestly, price it at what you wish that it would sell at realistically. Like just because somebody else, again, like let's take like the amigurumi idea. Just because somebody is selling like a plushy teddy bear for $40 doesn't mean that you have to. If you feel that you put in a good amount of time on it, and again, it's like very niche, and the yarn is expensive, whatever, price it at what you think it should be priced at. I know a lot of people when they start their crochet business or just like businesses, handmade businesses in general, a lot of people undersell or underprice their items. And I get that, but at the same time, you might have like a little bit of excitement and a little bit of rush because like, oh my gosh, I sold something. But over time, it's going to start to like eat away at you because you're going to start feeling like you're not getting what you feel it's worth. And that in turn can make it stressful to even want to like make things. And that's honestly how, like when I first started selling some of my handmade stuff, I had a little bit of clothing, um, and I was using bigcartel.com. But at first, because I really wanted my stuff to sell and I was worried that if I priced it too high, I wasn't going to get orders. And I had it, I'd say, kind of priced medium, like low medium. And at first, it was really fun. Like I got 1, 2 orders and I was like so excited. And then I didn't get a lot of orders with that site, but as months went on and I would get a few more, I would almost dread having to make the thing that they're going to pay me for because I was like, it's not even worth it for me. So I'm kind of ranting or rambling, but that's kind of like my advice. And then also Market your stuff, like advertise your stuff. If you don't already have like an Instagram or a TikTok or a Facebook, something, some kind of social media to show your audience what you're selling, what you're working on, that's a huge part of getting orders is people who are just like scrolling on Instagram and they see something cute, advertise your stuff, market it, like marketing, you know? I'm going to try to make my snake a little hat. Stephanie, you saw my video like a year ago now, right? So cute. If you guys didn't know, I do have a pet snake and she's over there. But I think it was like a year ago or so now. But I was like, I need to like get her in on these videos. So I made like 3 mini hats or like items, 3 wearables for my snake. And then I had her like try them on at the end. So funny. Because we had like one of them was like a party hat, like a birthday hat. Goofiest thing I've ever seen. And I put it on her and she was just like, okay. And then I also made her like a sun hat with like a brim. And that was really cute. And then the last thing I made her was kind of just like a tube. Like it was just like a striped, it's like a sweater, but she's a snake, so she doesn't have arms. It was just like a tube, kind of like a tube top. And she was digging it. I put it on her and she was like, hell yeah. Rachel, you're tagging me on a story of a photo that I just made you remember. It's my cat Kronk. That's cute. That's a cute name. Kronk laying on a blanket I was making. Also, Discord sounds great. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully by the next time that there's a live stream, the Discord will be up. And then we can just start sharing photos with each other, sharing whips, finished projects. We can like encourage each other. And it's also gonna be really fun because then like depending on what everybody's making, it will like inspire you guys to like, oh, I never even seen that pattern. That's so cute. I want to make it. Same thing with yarn, like, whoa, that yarn's super colorful or super unique or whatever. And then we're really just going to be pushing each other to like open our eyes to a bigger world of fiber arts. Because granted, like I share stuff with you guys, like certain yarns that I'm buying or getting and projects that I'm making. But imagine if everybody was like sharing their knit sweater or their knit vest, whatever. And then, yeah, just more exposure, opening our eyes to the fiber world. Biscuit, your dog has separation anxiety from me severely. Do you think it's work for her? I would say give it a try. My Corgi, he gets separation anxiety, but not to the point that he can't function. Like I know he gets really lonely and anxious when we leave, but he doesn't like get destructive or, like pee on the floor or something. So I don't know how severe your dog is, but at least like Google it and like Google the reviews and see if other people have talked about using the Thunder jacket for separation anxiety. But I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, is literally like Thunder jacket. So look it up. Maybe it'll work for your dog. My dog, when it's on him, like I said, he loves it. And even like when the fireworks are done, he doesn't want us to take it off of him. Like he loves it. He'll try to go to bed in it. So maybe your dog will enjoy it. Your sister's Corgi is jealous of your sweatshirts. and PJs, but once you put them on him, he's like, "Oh, I actually don't want this." That's totally Mowgli. Like whether we're eating something or like a blanket, it could be a sweater, anything. He'll kind of get like jealous and like weird, and he'll act like he wants to be a part of it. And then once we actually include him on it, he's like, "I don't want to be here." I'm like, "I tried to tell you, dude. I knew you weren't gonna like it." Okay, we're struggling a little bit. Our dog is terrified of all fireworks except the Disneyland ones. He grew up down the street from Disneyland. I can't even say that, Disneyland, and somehow learned the schedule. That's crazy. It's crazy how smart dogs are. Maritza, hola, welcome to the live. Casey, why are you switching from Squarespace? I'm currently working on my website through them. There's nothing I have against Squarespace. I've actually really enjoyed using them. I think I'm just ready for a change. Um, there's like a few, from what I've seen, like in my research, Shopify is a little bit more pricey than Squarespace, but I think just kind of like where you guys have heard me talk about like my sales and stuff recently. I know that part of it is like due to the time of the year, whatever. But I think I'm just kind of ready for a change, and I want to see if I notice any differences with Shopify over Squarespace. Um, I also kind of knew it at the time that I was signing up for Squarespace because I did a lot of research, Shopify versus Square. But something that I've heard and like seen a ton of articles about is the fact that Shopify, for whatever reason, and again, I'm not like a computer scientist, I don't know, but Shopify is, how do I phrase this? See, I had like a brain fart moment. Shopify is really good at SEO, like search engine optimization, stuff like that. Um, that's like Shopify's specialty. And I've heard really good things about Shopify versus Squarespace. I don't know what they're called in that sense, but they don't really prioritize SEO rankings, and they don't really, that's like not their thing. Like I think Squarespace is really good for people who kind of have like a portfolio. Like Squarespace really prides themselves in being able to let you completely customize your website. Um, and it's cool because Jordan has a Squarespace too, and it works really, really well for him because he's a photographer. So you guys should like check out his website just so you can see what I'm talking about. But there's so many different ways that you can really customize and personalize your website with Squarespace. And especially if you have like a lot of photos, um, you're just able to like set it up so uniquely, and it literally becomes like a portfolio. So if you're like trying to get work or whatever and you're sending your website to clients, they get a really good idea of your aesthetic and kind of like your vision. Squarespace is really, really good for that. Just artsy stuff. Like as artsy and complicated as you want your website to look, they can do that. In comparison, Shopify, I've heard, is a little bit more simplified. You can't quite arrange things as free form as you would like to. So it's a little bit more just like pick a template, customize a few things on it, and that's about it. But Shopify apparently is very good at SEO. So, like, if somebody were to just, like, right now go without typing in like my website name, for example, like I sell, or I used to sell the crochet hooks. I'm taking a break from the crochet hooks right now, the resin hooks. But for example, if you were to just go onto Google and type in resin crochet hooks with Squarespace, chances are, and I've tried it, that my website, even like a photo of my crochet hooks aren't going to pop up on like the first even 3 pages. And most people don't even go to the third page. Like it's usually the first page. And if you don't see it, you're like, let me like edit my query. So I noticed that. Like even people messaged me back in the day saying, I'm trying to find your stuff and like it's not even popping up on Google. And I'm like, that's really great. Versus with Shopify, there's a chance that if I have my site set up the right way and I have all the correct keywords in, if somebody were to search something as vague as that, just very generic, my site, my shop might actually show up on like the first page or something. Like it's just a little bit better search engine wise. So I have no big issues or anything with Squarespace. I think I just want to switch up platforms, e-commerce platforms, and see if there's any difference. See if I like it better, worse. I think that's a really important part once you've kind of established your business. Um, in the beginning when you're first trying to set up and stuff, you don't want to change around too much because there is nothing like foundational. It's here and there, and you need consistency, to kind of like build your audience or like consistent clients, customers. But I think I'm just at that point now where I've had the Squarespace for 2 years, which is not super long, but with business, you kind of need to try new things, um, and take chances. And there's a chance that Shopify I might prefer it less, but I'm willing to take the risk and try something new. If I don't try, I'm never gonna know, and I could be missing out on a whole big wide world. So we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated. Yes, very good point. Handmade things aren't typically overpriced, they're just expensive. And that's what I was trying to get at when it comes to like pricing your things is I don't want people to think like, "Oh, I can't price it at this because it's too expensive and nobody's going to want to buy it." If you want it handmade, you're going to have to pay a pretty fee. It's made with love and time and knowledge, skill set. Not everybody can crochet. Not everybody even wants to try to crochet. So the fact that you're already crocheting or knitting something by hand makes it unique and one of a kind. Oh, Meredith, you said I literally wrote all of that advice down so helpful. I didn't know you were really going to do that. Yeah, those are kind of just like the very basic tips. If you have something a little bit more specific, I can try to give some feedback, but there's honestly so much that I could talk your guys' ears off on. But for the sake of the chat, I don't want to stay on the topic forever. And then they're like, can we stop talking about setting up a website? But yeah, I would say for sure make some type of social media page. And your stuff, people could find it really quickly. You could get a ton of followers, whatever, or it could be very slow going. So even if a week, months go by and you don't get a lot of followers or even like business, I would also say don't let that discourage you. Like I know it in the moment it feels kind of like depressing or something, but if that happens, don't just give up because a lot of times it takes months, if not years, for businesses to flourish. I feel like I've talked about this before, but when I first started that website on Big Cartel, I was doing handmade orders. So for example, I had like a photo of, like I would have a listing for like a bikini top, or oh my gosh, I don't even remember what I had on there anymore. Um, like a bandeau, like just smaller projects, but like crop tops or tube tops or bikinis, tank tops, stuff like that. I think I even had like shorts. I think I had shorts on there. I think I had beanies. Um, so if you go back to like my old YouTube videos, like over 2 years ago, it's almost 3 years ago now. I was like telling everybody on my YouTube about it. I was posting about it. And when I set up my website, I don't even know how many months it was until I got my first order. So it takes time. And even at that time, I had an audience, but I think a lot of it comes down to what was I selling? And people, I don't know. I think a lot of times people see handmade stuff, and because they don't want to pay what it's worth, they're like, oh, I'd rather just make it myself instead of paying $70 for a tank top, you know? So that was just my experience. Was it took me, I did not get an order right away. But as kind of not great as that felt, I still kept the site up. I still kept advertising it. I still kept mentioning it and talking about it, because you never know who's going to see your stuff one day. You never know. Your, your snake and crochet accessories would make great stickers. Okay, wait. I actually really like that, and I might want to do that. Would you say like realistic, like an actual photo of her wearing it, or kind of like a sketch of my snake? Like, do we want it to be an actual image, or do we want it to be like illustrative? Because that is super cute and I want to do it now. Ah, Asher, thank you. I feel like sometimes I don't have a lot of knowledge on like website stuff like that, but sometimes I'm worried like I'm just talking out of my butt. But you said, as a computer scientist, I agree. Shopify seems to be more focused on the customer's experience from discovery to the checkout. That's good to know. That's very good to know. Interesting. Customer experience. Caitlin, don't be too discouraged about less sales. Most small businesses are feeling it right now. You know what's interesting is I don't know why that is, but I've been hearing that from just a few like other small business people that I know, and then a few people in the live stream, like the previous ones have been saying that too, how again, we don't quite know what it is, but right now, like all small businesses are like, where are the sales at? And I know we had a pretty lengthy discussion on it before. I think part of it may be due to the fact that now that we're just towards the end of the year, people, you know, whether it's you're selling yarn or amigurumi or patterns, whatever, people are at the point now towards the end of this year where they're being a little bit more, what's the word? Like scrimping with their money, whatever, because holidays and Christmas gifts. So that's one thing. I don't know what else it may be, like for people of all small businesses, you know, not just mine, but I've heard that a lot recently. What's this? Amal, hello. Your video was the reason I came back to crochet and start knitting after years of not doing it. See, that's what's so cool is like you're probably not even making what I was showing I was making, but just like seeing somebody else in their element, you're like, wait, I kind of want to crochet too. If she's crocheting, I want to crochet. Or Leslie. Hi, Leslie. Or y'all can try doing pop-up too. It helps start your businesses out there too. Pop-ups would be a good idea. I think for small, like people who are just starting out, I think the only thing that might be intimidating is whether there is like a pop-up fee, like to reserve the tent or the space. And then also like having inventory. Because if you're like just starting out and you only have like 5 things, you don't, you don't want to like go to a pop-up and you have like a 12-foot space and you just have like 4 things on a table and you're like, that's what I got. Because I've heard some pop-up spots charge crazy fees. And like they're each different from each other. Like I've heard some that are cheaper, some that are more expensive. But I was watching some people talk about the woolen folk that happened in New York. And I feel like some people were saying that for the vendor to just have their stuff up, their little tent, their space. I heard that it was like $900. No, ma'am. Am I doing that? I'm not even going to make 500 in sales. Why would I do that? That's crazy. Pauline, hi, yay, caffeine. Have you ever bought ads? I'll be honest, I've only bought ads one time on Instagram, and that was when I launched my merch, the most recent merch, the crafter hoodie and the sweatshirts and stuff like that. Um, I just wanted to try it out because I was like, I've never done this before, and I don't really know what that's gonna look like. So it's interesting. Like they let me kind of pick. I don't even remember what it was, but you're gonna laugh. I only spent I think like $20. So they only showed my stuff. I don't even know. I think it says like how many people, like the audience it's reached versus like how many clicks you got. And it was ironic because for Instagram, oh man, I can't even remember, but it was just like photos. It wasn't even a reel. It was just like photos of the merch that had just dropped. And I think it said that like the audience reach, keep in mind, on Instagram, I have like right under 40K. I think I'm like 39,000 followers on Instagram. My reach, I believe it said was like 8,000 or 9,000 people. So it was kind of like you reached less than my audience. And then out of just the people that were like scrolling on Instagram and then they happened to see the ad, I think it said I only got like, it was like 21 or 31 website clicks. Or no, profile taps. And then website clicks was none. I was like, sick. So worth it. Granted, I'm sure there is kind of like, I'm sure there's like a science to it versus people say they spent like $1,000. Okay, let's say this is like, I don't even know. Let's just say like Michael's. I don't know. Let's say like Michael's is trying to like solicit some yarn and they want to put like $1,000 into their ads. I'm sure that their audience reach would have been way more and probably over time more website clicks. But it was just so funny. I spent like 15 or $20 on the advertising. I got like 20 or 30 profile taps and no website clicks. And I was like, I'm not doing this again. Goodbye, Rotting Clown. I'm sorry if you left already. I've been jibba-jabbing for too long. Illustrated stickers are all the rage. My partner is starting his own small business to sell his art as stickers and eventually expand to pins. Well, now, because sometimes I feel like I want to add more into like orders and stuff, but I never know what it should be. Sorry, my knees are cramping. But I feel like just adding like at least one sticker or something, like a cute, like a good sticker, not just like some trash, you know? I feel like that would be really cute for orders. Like my snake in a party hat or a sombrero, or it's like a beach hat, sun hat, but whatever. Sarah, you're here. And I saw your order. Thank you. You're so sweet. I was just telling them, I don't know how long you've been here, but pretty soon now, I'm gonna have to put the website on hiatus just for I don't know how fast I can get it done, but I was just telling the audience here that I'm gonna be switching over to Shopify pretty soon here. So I'm gonna have to like put a pause on everything. Most everything is gonna go back up on the site, but I know it'll if I happen to like get orders and stuff while I'm trying to do the switch over, it might complicate things, or it might not even like update like it won't update orders or shipment stuff correctly. So I don't want to like mess with that. But Sarah, look, I made progress. Peep this. Because you saw it last time. I need to open up some blinds in here. It's longer. It's not a lot, but it's definitely longer. And that's what the yarn is looking like. Wait, I'm gonna open up. Let me open up the blinds. It's getting a little shadowed in here. Much love from Sweden. You're so sweet. You guys like how I'm always doing this? I'm like, can I read the chat? I should just put on glasses, but. Oh, Madison, you did a pop-up show. The fee for your booth was $200 and you only made $100 in 2 days. So like it's a positive thing because it's like somebody did want your stuff. But at the same time, as a business owner, I feel your pain. You're like, I lost a lot of money. But hopefully, if you had like QR codes up or something, or you're just kind of talking about like what you do, your website, anything, hopefully that helps with just kind of like word of mouth. Like you're getting exposure. And maybe people are going to remember you and they'd be like, oh, I saw her stuff last time or whatever. Maybe they'll even just email you like, hey, I see that you do this stuff. I want something kind of specific. Could you make this for me? You never know. Yeah, I could be wrong, Leslie, but somebody should Google this for me. I mean, I guess I could Google it, but I don't know if the information is still up. But I was like watching somebody kind of talk about how unpleasant Wool and Folk was for them as a vendor this year. And people in the chat were like, no, I think the person was saying it was like $900, $950. And then they said they didn't even break even. And I was like, that's so heartbreaking. Amara, my girl and my brother. She's here. She's here. I saw your DMs. I opened one of them and then I unread it because if I don't do that, then I'll forget that it's there. And then I saw you sent like one more. So, but I saw like your tips on, in case you guys didn't know, this is Amara. I was talking about her earlier. And they're helping me set up the Discord. So we have like the basis of it set up, like I said. And then hopefully like by this weekend, there's not too much we got to do, but I just want to add like those pages and those tabs and stuff. So Amara's helping to set up the Discord with me. And I was telling them I also want to add a tab or a page about like our pets. So I don't know what I want to call it, what we should call it, but I just want people to be able to like a whole tab about like pets and their projects, pets and projects or something like that. Because everybody's telling me like, oh, my cat's sitting with me while I crochet, or my dog is here, or even Sarah. I was talking about Sarah earlier and how Sarah sent me photos of her dog on the sweaters and stuff that she had. And like, I know we've got portfolios, like everybody's got like pictures of their pets. So I want to add another tab about our pets, and we can all just like geek out about each other's animals. I'm dead. Rachel, it looks like it was $900 and $800 for returning vendors. I'm gonna have to hard pass on that. I might like attend it in the future, but I don't know if I'd ever want to sell at Woolen Folk. I think that would be extremely overwhelming for me. Sarah, this is on, this is actually, ironically, I'm not using my own yarn for this project. This is, I always forget. It's gonna come to me. I got this at Hands On Knitting Center. This is Peekaboo. This is Peekaboo yarns. I don't remember the name of the color, but it's pretty obvious, like in the hank. So if you see it, but it's kind of just like a marled grays and whites, but like overall kind of tonal. And then we got these really fun pops of confetti color. Oh, look at that. Look at her. So this has been what I'm working on right now. It's in sock weight. Should have used worsted, or at least a DK, you know? Okay. Wait, let me play the music. I'll be right back. I need to get some light in here. Look how dark it is in here now. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh. Oh, and I have some updates for y'all too. My head is just all over the place. I'm excited though. Okay. Oh. It's like the same. Is it a little better? It's a little better. Wherever shall I put the music? Just hang out right there. Oh my gosh, Woolen Folk booths were $900 for a 10-foot booth. Some people got 2, but they didn't even get that length. Oh. Hi, Rory. Thank you. Thank you. It's the new haircut. I'm digging it. I like that it's just short again, so it's manageable. And then it was fun because I went into my hair lady, and I just told her that I wanted like my bangs back a little bit shorter, just because they were all grown out. They were like out to here. And then she was like, okay, what else do you want to do? And I was like, I'm going to give you free reign. Whatever you want to do it. And she was like, okay. So when she was done, I kind of asked her, I was like, this kind of looks like a wolf cut a little bit. And she was like, a little bit. There's like some shorter layers up in here. She thinned it out really, really well. So it's nice and light again, but I just like it. It's actually like manageable right now, and it makes me want to do my hair, which is a good thing. I should want to. Small things. Enjoy your life. Want to do your hair? Have a good hair day. Boost your confidence. Yes, definitely no rush on the Discord. I just I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more work that's gonna go into it than I'm thinking, but that's why I have Amara here to help me because Lord knows I don't know. But correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like at this point for the Discord, other than like maybe finding moderators, like a few more, maybe we don't have to do that until it gets kind of crazy. But I feel like at this point, we kind of just need to go in and add the pages, the certain pages that we want. I saw that you added like a kind of like an about me page, small stuff like that, but we can do it. It's going to be so fun. I'm looking forward to the pets page, to be honest. Pets channel sounds super cute. Yes. Okay. I was just thinking about it because I was like, people have been sending me photos of their pets. And then people are asking, like, oh, I want to make my dog a sweater or something. And I'm like, wait, this could be a thing. But that's kind of going to be like a little serotonin boost, to be honest. Sarah, I've been dying to make, I need my glasses. I've been dying to make a sweater or something in a neutral color with colored speckles like that. I mean, I could always like try to make a new colorway. I could try to make it like a specific colorway too. That might be kind of fun, like a custom dyed yarn project. But yeah, if you want to check this one out too, this is Peekaboo Yarns, I think. And she sells, this was just like on the wall at Hands On Knitting Center, but I'm pretty sure she's got like a website and everything. So I can't remember the name of this, but like I said, it's very obvious. Oops. It's very obvious. Like if she has a site, when you see it, kind of just like looks like gray, white, and funfetti. Oh, I need a pillow. A Brown, welcome. I haven't seen you in so long. I've heard that some places in downtown Dallas charge $30 per square foot. Oh, so you can spend upwards of $3,000. Yeah, that's pretty bad. At that point, I would just get like a stool. Like you can charge me 1 square foot. I've got a stool. That wouldn't work. That's terrible. Actually, that's so expensive. Christine, are you still making hooks? I love your hooks and need to get my hands on some. At the moment, I am not making hooks anymore. I'm taking a nice little break, reprieve from them. I feel like I've said this so many times, but I do think I want to bring them back eventually. But for the foreseeable future, I'm kind of taking them off of my plate. As gorgeous as they are extremely time consuming. It's messy, like pouring the resin, extremely messy. All the materials that I need for it are expensive. Grinding the hooks is time consuming and messy. It's just a lot. And as I've kind of mentioned the last few months, I'm just trying to like get my business a little bit more established, I'm trying to simplify what's on my plate because I have this terrible habit of committing to too many obligations or trying to take on too many tasks and things. And then my days are a mess. And by the end of the day, I don't feel fulfilled because I have so many things on the to-do list. And if I don't hit them all, I like beat myself up over it. That I'm not as productive as I wanted. I didn't get as much done as I wanted. And I noticed that it was that it definitely was getting to a point where I was just by the end of the day, when I thought of my work and like what I do, it wasn't like satisfying anymore. It was kind of just turning more into, every time I thought about work in that aspect, it would just stress me out. And I was like not looking forward to having to do anything. So long explanation for, at the moment, not making hooks, but who knows where my mindset will be, maybe by spring or summer. I really just want to focus on learning new skills, even like stuff with knitting. This is just stockinette, but I would really like to challenge myself and learn more intricate skills, even with crochet. I do a lot of basic stuff, but I would really like to push myself to try new things and use new fibers, kind of get out of my comfort zone with what I'm already doing, but get more intricate about it. Oh my gosh, my eyes. Sarah, I think it's so funny that after learning how to knit, I hardly ever crochet. I had always said I would never learn to knit and always be a diehard crocheter for life. For me, so I feel you on that. I think as much as you've heard me talk about like I'm really trying to get back into knitting and a little bit more, I know crochet is always going to be just, I don't know another word for it other than passion of mine. Because again, although I've been doing crochet on and off for 20 years now, almost 20 years, I always, I don't know what it is about it, but it's just something that for me is like the pull is so strong there. So I know even though I'm trying to expand with the knitting, I'm always going to have a good portion of crochet passion, crochet drive, crojo in my heart. But I think it would be really nice to kind of get to a point where I'm 50-50. 50-50. We always got the crochet in the back, you know, a new design, a new pattern or something that I can, again, kind of push myself, try new skills, a new stitch pattern, something more intricate. And then I always have knitting there as the relaxation. This is just, when the yarn slides off of the needles. Oh, feels so good. Amara, some more mods setting up. I can't even read. Oh my God. Some more mods setting up some more channels and setting up the Me 6 bot. And then we'll be good, I think. Okay, so I saw the Me 6 bot thing, but I thought that you made that. I was like, I don't know what this is. That's funny. You're like, it wasn't me. It's just a bot that was there. I'm curious. Maybe I should just Google it. I didn't know we have to like set him up. Hello. I see that there's 50 people in the chat right now or in the live stream. If you have not introduced yourself or if you're new, come say hi. At least be like, hey, I'm here. Tell me what you're working on. I would love to hear all my silent people, even if you just say hi and then go away. Don't be stalkers. Say hi. Working on a cream. Oh my God. See, this is how I know I'm getting older. This is a struggle. Raylan. Am I reading that right? Raylan. Working on a cream and dark green striped raglan sweater. Oh, fire. That's dope. Like I can already envision that. Cream and dark green heater. I want to see that. Using my tutorial as you watch. Excited. Oh, Ooh, excited to show you on the Discord. It's one of my favorite projects of the season so far. It's funny because right now this is the most whips current active whips that I've had in a long time. I think right now I have, I don't know, you guys probably think I'm like, oh, I have 8. But for me, I'm very kind of religious with like, I used to be like that and then I cut back because it's more manageable to have 2. I see the progress done a lot quicker, yada, yada, yada. For whatever reason, right now I have 4 whips. And just yesterday, I started a striped sweater because I'm kind of like, you know how you guys, you know how I've been saying I'm like going back to old tutorials and then writing patterns for them. Well, I'm taking the old color block sweater. Have you guys been here since the color block sweater? It was like light gray, deep gray, excuse me, I just burped. And then at the bottom, it was like sagey green. But I'm taking that pattern and I'm revising it a little bit. And I simplified it to 2 colors. And instead of like the color blocks, I'm doing stripes. Now, usually not a fan of stripes. I've only worked up maybe like half. See, it's so crazy like how fast crochet is compared to knitting for me. Because at the moment, like I spent maybe like an hour and a half on it yesterday. And then like 30 minutes this morning. But I'm already about halfway done with the front panel. And the 2 colors I'm using are like an off-white, off-cream color, and then like a neutral, like light tan color. So it's like cream and then tan, cream, tan, cream, tan. Like I said, I'm not usually a fan of stripes, but I have enough where I've got like 5 different stripes on it now, and I'm like, oh my god, this is actually heat. Like, it's a banger, and I like it a lot. So eventually I'll have a pattern out for that soon, but for whatever reason, see, it's so funny that there's all these certain things that I'm not like a fan of in the past, but now it's like growing on me, i.e. stripes. I've always kind of been like, I don't care for stripes. The only time I like stripes is when you have, like when I make multi-fiber projects, kind of like a scrappy project. I love having like different textures, different thicknesses, and like they're different colors. So in that sense, there's like stripes. But if I'm just using like the same fiber for the whole project, I used to not care for stripes. Next live stream, you guys are going to see it. And it's cute. So when you said cream and dark green, I can see it. I can see it in my head. I have that vision. Oh, people are saying hi. Thank you guys for, for coming out of the shadows and saying hi. You're actually working on my newer raglan cardigan, but I'm making it long sleeve with loops and threads heathered tweed. That's a very interesting fiber to me. I haven't quite made up my mind on it. Like I only used it for kind of like a baby doll top, and I do like it, but I'm surprised it wasn't as like drapey as I thought. I wish that they made the heathered tweed in like a DK instead of the worsted, but they had some very gorgeous colors. I'll give them that. Amara, I'm working on it right now. It might seem a little overwhelming, but we'll figure it out. I think what I need to do is just like maybe try to like search on YouTube, like watch some videos, because me always trying to figure everything out on my own instead of like ask for help, that's a problem for me. So I think I should just like Google it and be like, yo, what is this thing on Discord? What does it do? How should I do it? How do you do it? And then I'm sure there's like 100 answers. But yes, Amara, I love the positivity because we are going to figure it out. We are. She's like halfway there already. Noki, a sweater. I like that. Very straightforward, to the point. A sweater. Holly, hi Holly. Working on knitting a baby beanie for my brother's baby due in March. It's his first baby. Congratulations. I promise you, that beanie, they're gonna hold on to that for all of eternity. Like a handmade baby gift, they're gonna keep that in like a little treasure box for years. Madeline, working on a beanie for your boyfriend. Iridescent Sav, hi. I'm working on a 70s styled hat that I just released a pattern on. Hello, I want to know, I want to see. And again, this is perfect stuff for the Discord. Because Amara was also telling me, like, hey, we should possibly set up like a self-promo page. So if people have like their own patterns that they're working on, or like they need pattern testers, or even if they just want to like get the word out about their small business, whatever, then there's like a whole page eventually that you can link your stuff on, and then we can see it. I'm actually very excited to see like once people start joining the Discord, like how the conversations are going to go and the type of projects you guys are working on. I'm very excited. Rafa Cat, working on your first knitted sweater. Good luck to ya. You got it. Working on a crochet pillow. Sarah. Isabella, I just started watching your videos and I love them. Thank you. I'm currently working on a sunflower turtle plushie. That sounds really cute. I kind of want to make my nephew-in-law. I was asking like my mother-in-law, I was like, what's his favorite animal? Like, I don't know. She was like, he doesn't really have one, but he likes all things like woodland critter, like woodland creature vibes. So I don't know if I have the courage to do it. Like, I keep saying I'm gonna try amigurumi, like plushies, but I keep not doing it. But ideally, I would like to try to make like maybe a moose. Is that gonna be like really intricate? Like, what's another really good like woodland animal, like foresty animal I can make that's not gonna be difficult? Because I was searching around on Etsy for like moose patterns, and there's a ton. But there's like a lot of curvatures and contours to a moose and like the antlers. And I'm like, oh my God, is this going to be like too much for a first plushie project? I need suggestions. What are some good woodland critters? Like we could do, I don't want to do a squirrel. Forget the squirrels. Maybe a fox. What else? Teddy bears too common. So yeah, that's where my head's at right now. Hi, Sammy. Amal, working on a shawl. Deb, you're new from Michigan. Welcome. You're working on your 4th zigzag crochet blanket. Shades of green and rose. Like a month ago, I got some mohair yarn, or I think it's alpaca, but it's like a lace weight. And the colorway is like forest green and rose. And it like ombres. I love those color combos. Sarah, when I'm done with this crochet pillow, I have 3 Christmas projects to do. I'm gonna try to keep things very simple. If I make anything for Christmas gifts, literally the only thing is gonna be the plushie, the amigurumi, whatever, for my nephew. And that's it. I ain't making gifts for nobody this year. For myself. I'm prioritizing myself. I'm making myself a sweater. You want a sweater? You can make one if you want a sweater. I'm gonna make me a sweater. I don't know about you. Well, I just heard Jordan come home. So let's give her 5 more minutes and we're out of here. I can't believe it's already been an hour and 40 minutes. I genuinely meant to come on here and do 45 minutes. For real. I thought I was going to stop at 45 minutes. I didn't even see the time. Ow. Did you guys hear that? I smashed my lip and my tooth. Oh, that was not pleasant. Asher, are you planning on designing any other unisex top patterns? I'm about to start the penny polo for your partner. I have a handful of tutorials that are unisex, but as for patterns, I just barely started, so I'll need some time. But if you're looking for like patterns or like tutorials, I've got like 5, I think. I got 3 more minutes on the live. I warned them. I warned them. Hi, Mr. Momo. How was work? Yeah. Oh, a raccoon might be cute. Fox or a raccoon? Hi. This work. Somebody said work was meh. Meh.
It's weird.
This is what I live with, y'all. To be fair, we do that to each other. What's the other thing that we were doing the other day? Like this? Y'all don't be creeped out, but it was like this. It's like wait. I'm dead. They can see you in the mirror, you know. Do it again. You gotta do it again. Give them a little. I'm dead. I'm gonna turn it this way so you guys can't see whatever crazy stuff Jordan is getting up to. Wait, Sarah, you're finally making yourself the sweater? I feel like I've heard of that one, the Salty Days. I kind of want to Google it. It sounds really familiar, but I don't even know what that would look like. Okay, we're putting this baby on hold. I think we probably got like maybe 2 rows done. I have 300 stitches in each row, so it takes a long time. Let's see, Salty Days. The Salty Days. Salty Days sweater. Whoa. By Kuto. Oh, you're making this? That thing is crazy. That is so intricate, but it's actually very flattering. I know I don't have the skill for that yet. I would completely bamboozle it. That's cute though. Look at that. Oh, look at that sweater. Dang. I'll have to save that one for later. You good?
Sorry.
Oh, and for everybody who has been here for the previous live streams, and we've been talking about the advent calendar, the yarn advent calendar, just know that I finally got, I don't even know what it's called, but I got like the promo. What's it called? Like the
Mood board.
yeah. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. The mood board for the colorways for the whole Advent. I got it all set up and done, as well as like the color palette for the Avatar Advent calendar. So I don't know when I'm gonna post it to like my stories, but I don't know if I should switch platforms first and then open up the Advent. I don't know. Because if I do the Advent first, then I'd have to wait to finish all those orders before I switch platforms. See the struggles? You see the struggles here? But yeah, got the thing. I should give you guys, I don't even know how to do it on here, but maybe I could give y'all like a little sneak peek on Instagram. It looks pretty fire though. Oh, can you bring the boy to me? I want to show his face. Mr. Mr. Mogul, come say goodbye, Mr. Mogul, Mr. Mogul. Oh, yeah. Mr. Mogul, Mr. Mogul. What? No, make no sense.
Okay.
Good boy.
Okay. I'll be back.
Bye. Have a good workout.
Thanks.
You still seeing the Drewster?
No, tomorrow.
Ooh, look at this guy. Look at this guy. No. No running, please. Okay. Okay, away with you, old man. Go on. Oh. Did you hear that? Oh, baby, get a load of this. The voice of Zuko. What's that guy's name from the dance? Dante. What's his name? Dante. The voice of Zuko. You know him. We've talked about him before. He's starting a matcha tea brand.
That's cool.
Truly following in Uncle Iroh's footsteps.
Is it dancer?
Yeah. Dante something. Oh, no, that's not his name. He plays a character named Dante. I'll have to show it to you later. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Take the boy. So yeah, we're probably going to get going here in a minute. I know this is going a little bit longer than I thought, but I wanted to talk about the yarn advent. I meant to talk about it in literally the first 10 minutes of the live stream, and then I just got excited talking to you guys. But Dante Bosco, thank you. That is his name. Dante. He was in that movie with Zorro. What's his name? The guy who plays Zorro back in the day. He's in that dance movie. But yeah, the voice of Zuko, that's crazy. So yeah, I don't know when we're going to open up pre-orders for Advent Calendar, but it's definitely got to be sometime towards the end of November. I think maybe this will give me the push to change platforms first. I don't know if that's going to like drive me crazy or not. Oh, I still have your. That's funny. That's why I still haven't worked out all the logistics. I literally spent. How can I? I really want to show you guys a sneak peek of the mood board. So I need to like share it to my phone first, and then you guys a little sneak peek. Thing goes, no, I genuinely have not even thought about that yet. I know we talked about it on the last live stream, but the last few days I've just been kind of preoccupied with other things. So I spent a good amount of time putting together like the color palette mood board And then today I was kind of sitting through trying to determine exactly how many colorways I wanted. So I think right now I have a solid list of 14. Technically there's like a few extras and I'm not sure like if I'm going to do one or the other. So we're either going to do, it's either going to be 12 days or 14 days. I know this is going to be super overwhelming because that's a lot of different colors to dye up. But I was able to solidify the list, like to narrow it down. Do you guys even care to see a sneak peek of the color palette? Should I show it to you guys? I have it right here. I made it. I'm actually very proud of it. I think it looks, the colors are so pretty, but yeah, I know what we discussed earlier as well with the advent calendar is that I discussed it, but I don't think I told you. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be offering 2 different weight. How do I say this? 2 different weights for the advent calendar. So yeah, a sport weight and a DK weight. They will both have the same amount of days, the same exact colorways. Obviously, the only difference is the weight of the yarn, but keep in mind, yardage will be different for each. So you will have to plan accordingly. And then I'm still trying to figure out how I would do the additional yarn add-on if you guys needed extra yardage. I know in the poll or the Google form that I had people fill out, a lot of people said that they would prefer the option of adding on another full hank, a 100-gram hank, instead of extra minis. So I think that's what I'm leaning towards. I think I'm also I kind of mapped out, for the 14 different colorways that I had or that I have. I have like a general description of what each of the colorways are going to look like. It's very general. But I know people traditionally do the 100-gram hanks on the very last day. But I think at the moment, the way that the list goes is essentially lightest to darkest. So it has a little bit of an ombre, but I don't know if I want the last day, the full hank, to be a dark colorway. What are your guys' thoughts on that, honestly? Because like, I mean, I don't know. You guys can imagine Avatar, okay? And like you can imagine the darker themes in Avatar. And I feel like people usually do kind of like a neutral or like a more medium to light color for the full hank. But the way that my list is set up is the very last days are the darkest colors. So that's just a little rant. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys a little sneak peek because like 5 people said yeah, and I'm gonna show it to you guys. So ooh, I spent so long on this. I feel nervous to show you guys. This is what the color palette is looking like. So it's kind of hard to see. There is a color right there. It's just the phone. I don't know if you guys can see, but we got the cream finger. We got creams, tans, some browns, obviously, Ang, Appa, stuff like that. And keep in mind that the photos that I have here, this is just kind of like the general mood board. Doesn't mean it's going to be exactly these scenes or exactly, what you see here, but the general color palettes, we got the earth tones, then we've got the greens, of course. This is a blue. It looks purple here. And then a little bit of pastels, and then of course the darker colors, Zuko, Azula, you guys get the vibes, but this is the general color palette. It was actually really fun to make it. I spent a lot of time on it, but that's what we have planned. And then as you guys saw from the little thing, the darkest colors are like the Zuko, Azula-ish colors, very, very warm and dark. And just so if the phone can focus, the way that the list goes and the days and stuff like that, obviously we'd start with like lighter colors and then you transition-ish. But then that would mean like the full hank would be something a lot darker. But what do you guys think about that? About the full hank being the darkest color? Is that something that you guys see a lot too? Or is that, I feel like the little bit of research that I did, like on Etsy, people that have advent calendars and stuff, people's, I personally didn't see a lot of full hanks that were like dark. So I don't know what to do about that. I don't know what to do. Thank you guys. You guys said it was so pretty. It's not even the yarn yet. It's just the mood board, but I appreciate it. I'm glad that you guys are actually digging it. Yeah, I mean, no guarantees, but moon spirit, I'm not going to say very much. But okay, Cardi said you don't care. You love the dark. Okay. I was thinking like I could reverse the colors and we can go like dark to light. So that the last day is like a creamy creamy neutral color. But for most people who are going to start working on their project with the yarn days, I don't want to start dark to light, especially for people who are planning on making like a top, cardigan, sweater, whatever. I don't think I want it to go dark to light. I don't know. I'm stuck. But if you guys don't really have a preference for the full hank, then I'm just gonna do it, I guess. It's just that's also something else, excuse me, that I thought of as like, for the darkest color being the full hank. Granted, that's a lot of yardage in the dark color. But maybe it would be a really nice balance considering that most of the palette is pretty light or neutral, pretty light or mid-tone. So having a lot more yardage of the darker, because there's only going to be only a few colors that are going to be on the deeper side. Maybe that would help like balance the rest of the project. And then granted too, you don't have to use the full hank. So that was the thing I was also thinking is for people who want to do the add-on of extra full hanks for whatever project that they're working on, I didn't know if they would want like that same full hank, that darkest color. I didn't know if the add-on should also be that dark color. So like imagine somebody who needs extra yardage, say they want 2 more full hanks, so 3 full hanks. Is that too much? Like 3 full hanks of the dark color? I don't know. Or maybe if they're going to do add-ons, maybe the add-on could be the lightest color. I don't know. See, all the logistics I haven't, that kind of like go up in my head and then I'm like, I can't. I'm going to overwhelm myself. As a person who wears almost exclusively dark colors, I appreciate that the dark is 100 gram. Okay, we're liking it. Okay, Sarah, I personally prefer darker yarn, but that's just me. This is, I thought y'all were going to be like, no, but that's good to know. Amara, I told my friend about the Avatar Advent, and she is so excited. See, and that's the fun thing too. By the time that we do all that, I'm sure the Discord will be up. And then depending on whatever project that we're each making, we can post updates of the yarn being used for the whip. Like, trust me, I've got all these like little thoughts, and that could be like a different page on its own. It could just be like cows in general, knit-alongs or crochet-alongs, whether it's mine or anybody else's that's hosting it. But for that tab, it'd be cool to, what was I saying? For that tab, it'd be really cool to have that page or whatever be about like a crochet-along, knit-along, and that could involve the advents. What does it say? Also, nope, I'm not even someone who's watched Avatar, but these colors are so fun. Yeah, I mean, I feel like for the most part, it's pretty, the colors are, that's why I had so much fun putting together the color palette, because once I had all the colors together, it's so like mid-tone in the sense that there's a little bit of everything. There's like the cream, you got tans, you got blues, you got greens. So it's just kind of like, it's nothing crazy. It's not like a bunch of yellow or a bunch of orange. Like it's just a really nice blend of colors that I feel like most people could get wear out of the colorways. Oh, Asher, dark at the end makes sense considering Avatar gets dark at the end of each season. Very on theme, on brand. Yeah, it's helpful getting to talk these things through with you guys because for the most part, I'm able to figure out the logistics by myself. Um, but like I've already kind of solidified what each colorway is going to be. So like the theme of each colorway, but it's really helpful getting to talk certain aspects of this through with you guys because certain things I'm really like 50-50 on. Like I don't really have an idea. And especially this being my first ever attempt at a yarn advent. I know a handful of you have probably done something like this before, so you have more experience in it than I have. I've never taken part in anybody else's yarn advent before. So I don't quite know how these work or like the best advice for it. Um, yeah, and it's like when I'm kind of just like 50-50 and I'm not really leaning one way or another, getting feedback from you guys is important because like this is something hopefully that you guys are going to want to take part in with me. And what's the point of making a color palette or a crazy, yeah, like a crazy color palette if nobody even wants to do it? Like I could have said Avatar and then pulled some like hideous colors, and then y'all would have been like, yeah, I don't really, but I want to make stuff that you guys enjoy, not just things that I think are pretty or fun, because we all have our own opinions, but it's helpful to get feedback. Like it gives me reassurance to keep going, because like I said, a lot of times, like for the most part, I have some of it figured out, but then a lot of times I'm like in my head so much that I'm like, oh my God, it's too much. So thank you guys for the reassurance. Honestly, like y'all don't understand how hyped I am. I forgot what was happening. I think Jordan asked if if we wanted to like do something together. Like, forgot what it was. And then I was like, no, thank you. And he was like, okay, well, what are you gonna do? And I was like, I'm gonna work on the mood board. And he was like, oh, okay. And I was like on my computer like this. So fun. And then already I was like, oh, this would be so fun, like for future advents. Like so many ideas. So what does this say? I can't read this. I can't read this. There's like a heart in the way. Oh, I feel like we don't see a lot of dark colors in advent calendars. I'll keep that in mind because that would be really cool. And like, because a few ideas that I had were kind of like mid, summery colors, springy colors. That's a good idea to keep in mind for dark themes. Okay. Now that we've hit 2 hours officially, I cannot believe we've been on for this long. I do really like the colors. I've never seen Avatar, but still love it. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, I mean, it's fun because there's like a theme behind it. There's the general love for Avatar and like all the funny parts of it, all the life lessons in it, all the empathy in the show. But at the end of the day, it's like, do I vibe with these colors or can I live without them? So that is the tentative mood board that we have going on. I do need to sit down and just figure out when I'm going to really open this up, price point, stuff like that. And then like the add-ons and whatnot. So yeah, at the moment, about 14 colors, sport or DK weight. Like I'm going to have both options. Trying to cater, at least for this first one. We'll see what happens, what takes more than the other one. But that's where we're at. So yeah, we got the advent calendar going on. We've got Discord coming soon as well. I've got two separate patterns I'm working on right now. I'm almost ready to open up pattern testers for the newest one. So there's a lot on the plate. But I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm not gonna take up any more of your day. Ridiculous. I really thought 45 minutes was gonna be it. And we're at 2 hours. Yes, everyday wearable colors. That's what I like about it, at least for this first one. We got to ease into her, whether you want to make a shawl, shirt, kind of like me. I think I'm still going for like mid-sleeve shirt, maybe a sweater. I don't know. All right, you guys, I'm going to get going. Have a great day. Keep crafting. Keep your guys' eyes peeled for Discord information, but we're still at least a few days away from that. Sorry that you joined late. I'm gonna let you guys go. Have a good day. Be safe. Drink water. I haven't drank water this whole live stream. Okay, I'm gonna go. Hopefully see you guys next Thursday as well. Bye, everybody. I don't want to go. Bye, Amara. Bye, Asher. Sarah. Okay, bye.